The issue with Blake Foster is accountability. It's not that, people, I mean, he probably can be a okay dude if he would address his past, right? If he would just come clean and address his past, he might be better off. But because he took a different route, he took the intimidation, lack of accountability, social media trolling route. When people were giving him thousands of dollars, I mean, Wednesday is going to be another story that come out of another person who gave him $2,500 invested in him, and all they got was a hat. And these people are few far in between. Maybe Blake knows who they are, but he was making $50K a day from his THC business, right? Right? But he still wouldn't pay back all the people put who put money in his pockets under what I could only assume is a false pretense. So instead of doing right by them or coming clean about all the other people he didn't misled, his own choice, right, in front of his kids is to dox me. That's it. He's like, oh, I'm going to dox you. Well, are you going to pay the people back? Oh, don't worry about that. I'm doxing you. His greed got the better of him. I don't know if his greed got the better of him. Maybe his hubris got the better of him. Maybe his ego got the better of him. Maybe because the Power Rangers don't talk about all his transgressions got the better of him. They know that if they don't say nothing, how does it impact them? They just won't do shows with him. They won't be on panels with him. They may not be at a booth with him. Like they just maybe avoid him. Same thing with Hector David Rivera. The Power Ranger community knew he was a hothead. Everyone knew he had a drinking problem. What did they do? They just brushed it under the table. They just, oh, well, he's banned from PMC or banned from here or banned from there, and just put their head under the sand instead of they'll police what each other say on the internet before they police and hold each other accountable and say, hey, man, you can't be around me doing this shit. Like, there is in my life, if I am a friend of Blake Foster and I learn all this shit about him, he is no longer my friend. I can't associate with people like this, right? And I get it. It could be false allegations, but it's compelling evidence that maybe these allegations may likely be true. When you got fans, you got disabled fans coming up like, yeah, he got me and gave me some fictitious robbery story. And then he just said, I can't pay him back. He's like, oh, I'm just not paying you back. Do whatever you need to do. Like, what type of shit is that? And I'm not going to say names because, who cares, right? Who do you want to step up? One of them, two of them? Maybe they did try to step up. And you got a convention owner like, no, we're going to still have them there. We got Walter here. In order to get Walter, we got to get Blake because they all under the same management. It could be a package deal like that. But, it's 2025. All this shit is out there. And don't act like convention owners don't know. Like, look at the convention he has booked, right? Think about next year. Can he go back to some of these places that booked him this year? And how about the year before that? The places that booked him the previous year, can he go back there? Can he go anywhere outside of Ranger themed conventions? So like when you have this reputation, and don't think convention owners ain't reaching out to me, Blake, and talking about how you showing up late, potentially hungover, whatever you want to fucking call it. You think they don't talk to each other? You think they don't be like, yeah, he showed up late, he was drunk, or he was hungover. Yeah, he kept asking for shit. He kept asking for accommodations. Yeah, his manager was there. He wanted to per diem, for him per day. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Stuff like that. People talk. Like, yeah, his manager kept hitting me up asking for this for Blake, this for Blake, that for Blake, that for Blake, when everything was outlined in the contract. Oh, Blake complained about this hotel. It wasn't good enough for his standards. You don't think they talk to each other? And as they talk to each other, and other people say, oh, I had that same experience. Now they like, okay, mental note, we can't book Blake Foster. Why? Well, we heard he was at this convention. He did A, B, C, and D. And I trust the owner of that convention not to lie. Oh, well, he was at my friend's convention too and did DEF. Yeah. Oh, shit. I Googled Blake Foster. Look, what are all these allegations of Blake Foster? Why is he doxing YouTubers? Why is he posting people's kids as a way to intimidate? They all talk. So if he would have just handled it correctly and maybe took accountability, he could have easily just had a conversation. He easily could have put out a video, right? He could put out a video making fun of where I work, but he can't put out a video addressing any of these allegations that are levied by previous and former fans of his. He can't address any of these text messages that they have shared with me about their interaction with them, but he could go on the internet and make stupid whoop-de-doo videos that is doing what? Is that going to curb people's perception? Is that like, oh my goodness, like here you go right here.
And
right?
If you're gonna keep making YouTube videos about me, whoop-de-doo. You gonna go work at a waste management plant.
Yep.
Come home smelling like waste, making videos about me. Whoop-de-doo.
And you gotta wonder, right? If you're gonna keep telling fans about fake ass business adventures that they can invest in and get zero return for, I guess, do we whoop-de-doo to that too? Or is that shit coming to an end and you feel it, right? You feel it sinking in. You feel the walls closing around you as the opportunity to run, invest in this product, get your money back quick schemes is coming to an end. You can only pull that on unsuspecting fans who are not on the internet, who may be on a spectrum of some sort. Are you going to keep doing that? Are you going to keep telling fans you can get all these different signatures? Like, you see, this is clown behavior. He has serious allegations, not just one, not two, not three, but like 5 different stories about him. And his response, instead of addressing them, is to come on the internet and say, whoop-de-doo, that I'm making videos about him, and whoop-de-doo that you have a career. And he obviously doesn't have a career, because trust me, being a Power Ranger is not a career. He's not an actor. He's a former actor. And he's living off or getting residuals from conventions from fans who are, have how do you want to say it? It's nostalgia purposes, right? Oh my goodness, I watched you growing up. Yeah, that's great. That could be great for me for certain people. But for him, no. So Blake handled the situation all the way wrong. It could have been better. I wouldn't even be posting him if he wasn't so arrogant to drop in my DMs and talk about how I messed up and all this, that, and the third, right? And he's just looking like a clown. But hey, what do I know, man? I just work at the poop plant. All right, let me know what you guys think. See you next video. Peace.